Alhamdulillah, assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the Man's World podcast, where we talk about all matters relating to men living in the West, being successful in all aspects of our life, and the things to look out for, the things that we should do, learning from our mistakes, and all the above. So today we're going to talk about a few things, and mainly kind of centers around the idea of legal marriage in America. And I know we give general advice of there's really no reason to get legally married in America and to try to stay away from it, but there are some reasons, and we'll get to that at the end when we talk about the whole passport bros strategy. But we got some clips to share, and we're going to start off with a fun one, not really related to any specific topic, but a fun one. So let's get into it. Again, if there's any questions, comments, leave them in the comment box, leave them in the chat, and we'll respond to them. So this first one was funny, multiple angles. Oh gosh! So I'll just play the clip, and then we'll give you our feedback on it.
Is suing a sperm bank because of a mix-up that caused her to deliver a baby of a different race. Jennifer Cramblett says she ordered a donor with blonde hair and blue eyes to resemble her partner.
They said, well, I do believe 330 is an African-American donor, and basically we can no longer talk to you anymore.
Jennifer Cramblett was about 5 months pregnant when she called the sperm bank, hoping to get more vials so her same-sex partner could also get pregnant. But she would end up getting the shock of her life when she was informed that someone in the office misread the handwritten number as donor 330, a black man, and not 380, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed man that she was hoping for.
She said, well, we sent you 330, as in maybe I got my donor number wrong. And I said, no, I know what donor number I want. I've been looking at this guy for.
So you get the gist of it. Pretty much this lady, openly lesbian, right? White lady. They went to get artificially inseminated, and instead of getting the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy they wanted, they got a black man.
Yeah.
They got a nigga.
Yeah, I mean these lesbian couples, they just trip me out, man. She's like, I want a donor that looks like my spouse. It's like, she's not a
Where
dude.
are we at in this world where this is,
yeah,
and it's like they're expecting, I don't know, like they're having interviews, they're expecting people to feel sorry for them or whatever. I feel sorry for the little black girl that they got get stuck with these people.
Yeah, and so they actually wound up keeping the baby, little black baby, but yeah.
And again, and just to show, this is an extreme case, but following traditional Islamic values as far as getting married, this is obviously clearly not Islamic or traditional in any sense, right? But the things that they have to do, that they have to go all around the world to try to, or like all outside the scope to try to get something normal, right? Because like you said, she wanted a child that was like her mate. Y'all can't mate. So
that you can pretend is one of yours, because the clip went on. It basically, she had, how they found out was that she got the donor, and then she wanted her partner to have a baby also by the same donor.
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
And so they was like, well, this is the guy that you're like, hold up, that's the wrong one. But to me, it's like there should be. If you're going to do something that is that, irreversible, you probably would there should be some double and triple checking. Like, okay, this is the picture, this is the guy, because like even at work, like we might verify the patient, procedure, all types of things. If they're getting blood, anything, like 3-4 times. So
Yeah.
everybody that interacts with that person is going to verify that this is you, this is what you're getting, this is, you know, everything. So with these people, it's like, yeah, I'll take that one. And then,
Yeah, I was laughing at that. Their way of their security was it's 3 digits. How many times we mix up 3 digits? Like it should have been like some numbers, some letters, some
Yeah.
like A-44, like a whole long social security number almost of like you verify this number that this is the right one you picked. Like you said, picture.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it should have been a picture, or at the very least, be like, "Yo, this is a nigga right here."
they gotta do the nigga check to confirm you wanted a nigga. Yes, I wanted a nigga.
Yeah, it should be the thing that, you know, how like before you like throw something in the trash, or before you just like, are you sure you want to? Like that's what it should have been. Are you sure?
Exactly. Oh man, but you know, poor kid, and you know, this is where we're at in society today. But on a more serious note, speaking about law, because she's suing the company, and you know, who knows if they'll get paid. I guess she got denied the lawsuit. It got thrown out because they had a healthy baby. So they got denied on that aspect. But another aspect of the law, which gets into some more serious note, when we're talking about marriage, and this is a concept that everybody, especially men, but I'll also say women, especially in the African American community, that are, because usually women in the African American community actually make more money than the men. But this is something really that we know we should consider when we're talking about legal marriage. And just listen to how she explains this. And she explains it very, very easily that you can really understand it. A 5-year-old can understand this.
New Year, happy 2026. This is the second work day of the year for me, and I'm having to repeat this over and over, and people act like it's the very first time. So I want you to know and be aware of what is marital money, what is separate money, okay? So before you are married, keyword is before. Money that you earn, this person, that's their money. This person, they not married, that's their money. The very moment that you get married and you get that paycheck and you earn that paycheck while you're married, that's going into the marital pot. Your money stay over here that you had. This money going into the marital pot. Okay, that's marital. All right, so let's say this person were earning $1 and you earning $20 every time you put into the pot. So your 20, they won. Your 20, they won. Guess what? It's all marital. And guess what? If there's a divorce, guess what's going to be divided? The marital pot. Guess what doesn't matter? Doesn't matter who put what in the pot or how much you contributed and how much they contributed. The pot is marital and is subject to division. Okay, it don't matter if you made 100,000 and they made 20,000. You made 100,000, they made no 1,000. It is subject to division. Guess what? The house that you bought with this money from the marital pot, even though they didn't pay a bill, it's a marital house. Guess what? It's a marital house, even if their name ain't on the loan, even if their name ain't on the deed. The house is part of the marriage because it was bought with your money while you was married to them. So guess what? In a divorce, the house, the money is subject to being divided. Okay? Y'all got that? Oh, and another thing, it don't matter that their name isn't on your bank account. If you earn that money while you married, it is marital and it's going to be in this divorce.
So that's a very important concept that we talked about it in past shows about the idea of marital assets, and that's why it's very important for everybody to know the laws in their, especially in their states, but just in general know the laws. And she explained it exactly right. Everything, once that day you sign that paper and you're now legally husband and wife, everything you do from that point on, every dollar you make, everything you buy, everything you invest in is now split 50-50. And now if you're a man that's in, you're trying to, establish a traditional household where you're the breadwinner and, maybe you can afford that your wife is like a stay-at-home mom and she's sacrificing everything to be the stay-at-home mom. And you buy houses, you buy cars, you have retirement savings, all these different things. As soon as you're divorced, she has access to that.
So, I mean, I think we both are in general, we're different, but we're similar in that we're generally pretty much, happy people. Like
Right.
we usually, but this is one of the things that I don't know that in a long time, something that has made me more mad to see. It's something that I knew, but when I saw it, it just, the anger that I just couldn't explain because of how wrong it is. I mean, think about this. What is the incentive for the breadwinner, high earner, whoever, whichever person it is, whether it's the man or the woman? What incentive do they have to legally marry? What's the benefit? It is just a wealth transfer. It literally is an expensive. I mean, expensive. What you're actually getting to legally agree that from here on out, whatever I make, regardless of what the other person does, is going to be split down the middle. And I saw another guy. It's not in this clip, but he explained how, a guy might think, or a person might think, hey, I make $50,000 a year. If you're married, you actually only make 25.
Yep.
And if that other person is not working, or if you might make $1 million a year, it's 500,000. If you have the stay at home wife, and so it's not even a thing against a woman staying home, but to me, it is more crystal clear than ever. Do not ever get legally married to anyone. There is zero benefit in it. And now, as we go on in the show, you'll see there's even the last benefit that I thought maybe there, that ain't even there. There's no reason. And of course, they say, well, prenup. The amount of stories where prenups are thrown out, or they wound up getting invalidated or whatever, for whatever reason. I even seen a thing where ladies, they were talking about how to sign the prenup, but be able to do certain things to get it thrown out later. Take medication. Take some medication. You have a prescription from your doctor for whatever. And if you take any sort of, painkiller, anything that can technically say it alters your mental status at all, you can have the prenup thrown out. So you have your prescription. These ladies, they say you have your prescription from your doctor, and on that day, the boyfriend or the fiance thinks, yeah, I'm gonna get this prenup, I'm good. But he doesn't know she's done took a Percocet or or some prescription or whatever, and took it and said, yeah, I took it on that day. I didn't know what I was signing. So a year later, 2 years later, it gets thrown out because I was out of my senses, and I took a medication that day. Boom, gone. So it's like if everything goes in the metal pot, and I'm not against. We are not against a man or whoever is making the money, taking care of and helping to take care of the family. That's not the thing. But when you decide for whatever reason to split and go your separate ways, your life is ruined. Your life can be ruined because of this. So
And the thing is with prenups, right? And they're so flimsy, and there's lawyers that just specialize in that. That's what they do. Like, oh, you're so and so, and they'll take the case without. Don't think like, oh, she doesn't have any money, she can't get a good lawyer. No, there's lawyers. They're like accident lawyers, like the ambulance chasers. Like they're waiting for an accident. Like, yeah, you don't got to pay me nothing. I got you. I'm going to take 50% of what I get you, but I'm going to do it for free. But this is how I'm going to get paid. There's lawyers in family court, divorce court. That's what they do. Oh, you're married to a rich athlete? Okay, yeah, I got you. We know how to get this prenup, And it's so many different things that you have to have in place for it to actually be like a solid prenup. That's almost impossible. Like it's as simple as, so I've seen prenups that got thrown out because the man said, I'm not marrying you unless you sign this. And guess what? The judge said, that's coercion. You coerced her to sign this. She didn't agree with it, so we're throwing it out. Like it's that's it. So yeah, don't do a prenup. And I was thinking about this, and I wonder if there's a way we should look into this. Actually, if there's a way Islamically, to say that American marriage, legal marriage, is actually a violation of Islamic contract law. Because in contract law, there has to be equal risk reward when you make a deal, right? It's almost like when you start talking about riba and like there's only one person gaining, like these are things that invalidate Islamic contracts. So when you look at a marriage, it's actually a contract, legal marriage, right? And there's an imbalance of risk and reward. There's only one person that's benefiting, and there's only one person taking the risk.
So it's like this. If we go into business together, we both have to assume the benefits and the risks.
Right.
I can't say, hey, okay, Dr. Griffin, we're going to go into business. We'll both put down 10,000. But in the contract, I get my 10,000 back automatically. If the business fails, I still get my 10. If it succeeds, then I get my 10 plus whatever profit we make. So for the person who's not the breadwinner, they're going to take the risks, which is, okay, you're getting married. You have to go through the hardships, or I guess, of being married. Okay. But then you walk away with half of whatever the future earnings. I mean, there's all types of things that you can walk away with.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if the business or the marriage fails, the breadwinner takes full loss. He takes the complete loss. Now, some people might argue and say, well, what he gained was he spent time and enjoyed the company of the woman, and we can go down a long road about that, but that's what they would argue. But I would say it is definitely a loss. If you were just talking about a business, right? Mm-hmm. If you were just business, two people going to go into partnership, and without saying that it's a marriage, but what sort of assets can come out of it, what you will get if the business fails versus the other person, you would never take the deal. You say, no, I'm not going. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm not going to take that. So if I basically have to fund the business completely, 100%, and if it fails, you get 50% of the assets, not even the profits or after. You get 50% of the assets that I funded. You're not going to do that. You're going to be like, no, I'm not going to business.
There's a whole like section in Islamic law, finance law, whatever. It talks about partnerships, and there's different types of partnerships, and what do you do when the business fails or the partnership fails, and how the things are divided. It just doesn't seem like, if you looked at it, like you said, like a business or a partnership, we should probably submit it to like a fatwa committee under the guise of like a contract. I'm going into this contract. Is this halal? I'm like, oh no, that's not halal.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, yeah, this is haram, and tell you like it's a marriage, and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, no, brother, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think about this, about my sons, and I'm like, man, it's like, I mean, alhamdulillah, it's a thing where these are things that we know now. Mm-hmm. But I mean, for my son, I don't think that I would ever, they literally, how people say over my dead body. Yeah. It probably would have to be over my dead body that they would legally marry someone.
There's no upside to it. For there to be an upside, the situation is going to be so like individualized, like specific, that I'm comfortable saying like to everybody, don't ever get legally married. But if you come with this weird ISO, situation that may be like this, that, and a third, maybe, but it probably is so rare that it's just never really going to come up in real life.
I mean, it's like this. I think that any person, a Muslim, that is pushing really hard for getting a legal government marriage in the United States or in the West, it probably is someone that you do not want to be married to if they're pushing hard for it. You know what I mean? Now, if there's some sort of a very special case reason why they need it or whatever, something legally or whatever, but that it still seems like something that you just shouldn't get involved in.
Well, I would say, I guess the only way you would do it is if you're the B side. like, listen, she lawyer, doctor, like I work at Walmart, like,
yeah. But and that's the thing. That's the thing. So I make it's similar to me, as opposed to if you see a woman, if you're considering a woman who has children, and you look at how she deals with the father of those children as far as custody, child support, and these things. Yeah. If she's an abuser in the child support system, and she is difficult in custody disputes, and she doesn't adhere to it Islamically, then she's somebody that you should not consider. You should run from that person, because you're you're like, wow, she treats her ex terribly. She's literally getting all types of money and funds from him illegally through the child support system, but Islamically it's illegal. And so that's the person that you should run from. Similarly, a person who is their red line in the sand is we have to have a legal government marriage or whatever, then I would say I could not recommend anyone going for that type of person. The reason why is because when it gets difficult, their default is going to be the government route. Yes. Whether it is for even if it's a domestic dispute, these are the type of person that they'll call the police. And I'm just, like, if someone's actually harming someone or something like that, then not against calling the police if you're in danger, but just to say, well, you know what, like some people do, you know what, you make me mad, I'm gonna call the police just to get them over here to I knew a brother who that happened to, and he wanted to get in a lot of trouble over something just it was not serious at all, and his wife is crying and saying she's sorry, and the police are there. They're like, nah, he gotta go. Because of what happened, but she's and the relationship actually was destroyed because of that, because he wound up in some legal trouble. But the thing is, these type of people that to me they're the same type of people, the people who will abuse the child support and the custody laws and rules of the country instead of operating by Islam. This is the same type of person that will demand a legal marriage. I think they have the same type of energy. So I would say don't
stay away. Stay away. The next one we have, and this was actually sad to hear this, because I liked them in boxing or whatever, but I'll read the text. It says Deontay Wilder excuse me. Deontay Wilder exposes himself as being the biggest simp in boxing world by revealing he put his ex Telly Swift and her son in his multi-million-dollar will, only for the son to tell him, "You ain't my daddy." A woman he didn't marry and a son he didn't adopt. So let's watch the clip. That's the context of the clip, and we'll watch it right here.
I took the role of being your son father, not just a daddy, but a father. Right. I went in so hard, bro. I went in so hard to the point where I put them on my will. I had a meeting with my kids. I said, how y'all feel if I scoot y'all over? I scoot over a little slide and let somebody else get a little bit of it. And my kids are amazing. They're my best friends. And they was down with it. So I moved a little space over and added her son in on my motherfucking wing. You ain't even my son for real. Right. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, that has to take a toll.
I put her in my will as well too. Yeah. You was just my girlfriend. You ain't even my wife.
I hope that still ain't dead, man.
Yeah, man.
I hope that still ain't.
One time the son said, "You ain't my daddy." Now that's one thing you don't say to a man that ain't your daddy. Don't remind him that you ain't his daddy. You ain't. You know what I'm saying? Don't remind me that.
I know that, but you ain't got.
Right. I done fed you. Right. Took you on all these trips, giving you a beautiful life. Yeah. I ain't your daddy. I'm put you on my will. Bro, when he did that, bro, I ran to my lawyer then to try to get that, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I felt like I was finna have a heart attack. Seriously.
This poor guy. Oh man. I just want to say something real quick about you never tell a man that ain't your daddy that he ain't your daddy. or remind him. First of all, that wouldn't upset me one bit in any situation, because you should already know. It should be a constant reminder, like, he's not my kid, and that relationship shouldn't transgress those bounds where you forget that he ain't your kid.
Hey, listen. If they had been together for a month, that kid should have heard at least 100 times, "I ain't your daddy."
Yeah, let me remind you that I'm not your daddy.
I'm not your daddy. But in all seriousness, I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, I'm serious. The child should know very, very clearly, I'm not your dad. And another thing is for the child to say that, "Oh, I'm not your dad. You're not my daddy," or whatever. It's a reflection on the mother, because the mother most likely was not even appreciative of all the things that Deontay Wilder was doing for her. Maybe she felt like she earned it, she deserved it, or whatever, was entitled. And that a lot of times with stepchildren, their view and the way that they treat that stepfather or stepboyfriend or whatever he was, is how the mother sees him. That's how they will. A lot of times they're going to roll like that. If the mother is like, "Hey, listen, this guy, he's not your father, but he has really done a lot for you, and you need to be appreciated," or whatever. There are some outliers, but for the most part, that child is going to take that lead from the mother and really be appreciative of what's going on, even if they know, okay, this is not my father. But when the mother is not appreciative and she's entitled or whatever, that reflects and comes out in the way that the children behave and act. And just like the mother could snap off and be like, "Hey, you're not even, you ain't nothing, nobody to me. I mean, she was just a girlfriend." Similarly, the son is like, "Hey, you ain't my daddy," even though he's not. But it really means more than that. It means, "I ain't got no respect for you. You can't tell me nothing." Back off, step out, or whatever the situation was.
Yeah. And him putting them in their will and all that, it must have been because he thought it was some kind of permanency there. That was his wifey, whether they're girlfriend or boyfriend, that was his wife. And he was like, "Okay, that's my kid." And at a certain level, I don't see a problem with people that you actually have a genuine relationship with. But as you pointed out, for him to take that attitude, it kind of peeks into like what your relationship was. And you should have been smart enough, like, "Yeah, we ain't cool like that." As you said, like, he should have been saying, when he said that you ain't my daddy, it was like, "Well, I'll beat you like your daddy and then go beat your daddy because I'm Deontay Wilder." So keep talking crap.
Yeah. But I mean, for him, and like kind of like what we talked about last week with the dentist or the guy who went ahead and took out his ex-wife and her new husband or whatever. Deontay Wilder, who is, for the most part, probably, in the top 1% of just tough people in the world. Like, he regardless of what you think of him as a boxer, I mean, he's a tough out for anybody, so he's definitely tough, just in general. But as you can see, he's talking about how he was heartbroken and how I broke him down. And see, so it doesn't matter, what the person is. You really have to think deeply about these things before you go leading with your emotions. Because men, sometimes they can get emotional. You have to have a game plan of how approach it, especially these people who are these athletes. Cam Newton was saying something the other day about, so there was a football player whose girlfriend had met him, and she said, "Oh, I didn't know who he was or whatever. I didn't do my research or whatever." He wound up being like a superstar or whatever. But she was like, "I didn't know who he was." Cam Newton was like, "No, she definitely knew who he was. She definitely knew. That's Cap. She's lying or whatever." So a lot of these people, these women that attach themselves to these high earners or whatever, they're just there for the bag. They really don't care, and they're playing this game until the gig is up, and then they try to get away with as much as they can. So you just have to be careful. A lot of us don't have the issue of just being filthy rich, where we gotta be
give
careful.
Us that issue, please.
Yeah. I'll take it. But still, it's the same thing. You have to look at it initially, just like a business. You gotta make sure that woman is the type of woman that's going to fit with what you need in your life, not just what she looks like, but what you need in your life. And I already say you actually have to plan ahead and think to yourself before you even get with this person, marry this person, as we say as Muslims. If this does not work out, what type of person is this? What type of trouble would they cause me if it ends? And most people don't think they think, oh, we're gonna get together, it's gonna be happily ever after. 99% of people who get together intimately, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, one night, whatever it is, long-term, short-term, marriage, boyfriend, 99% of them do not last. People don't stay together. So if you think like that, you have to actually put that at the forefront before you even take that step. You have to say, what type of person, what type of situation will arise if we do break up after a week, a year, a decade, or whatever. And a lot of times that will give you the idea if you should even engage with them at all.
Well, let's rewind this, because we talked a little bit earlier about, you know, if a woman does a certain types of things with treating her ex and all this, like, those are like people you should stay away from. And it's sad seeing this happen, this type of stuff happen still when we have social media, everything's public, everybody knows about everything, right? And you see these athletes, musicians, whatever, famous black people, especially black people, still getting caught up in this type of shenanigans where you have literally dozens of shows on TV that are just exes of famous black people that are now just using their money to get more money. Like, that's, I was so-and-so's ex, and this is why I'm famous now. That's it, right? And you would think at some point, someone like, you know what? That ain't gonna be me. But the thing is, right, just like they have, like, now when you become an athlete, they have special, like, financial courses that these guys have to take to learn how to manage their money. They should have something like that about, like, with women and all that. I remember that old clip we seen with who was it? It was some athlete, some football player, and it was this basketball player. It was the Juju lady, right? The girl basketball player
Watkins,
was sitting next to the NBA player, and the mom came right down like, nah.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels, which so they say maybe his mother has some other issues, which is one of those son husband type things where she doesn't have a husband, and so she kind of is living not in an intimate way, not in a sexual way, but just kind of living vicariously as far as the type of man that I want or didn't get or couldn't, I'm gonna make my son that. So everything that she, you know, feels like her man should be, she kind of got her son that way, and so she's very protective over some other woman coming and, you know, being with her man, which is, you know, her son, unfortunately.
But I wanted to just tie this back to, like, if you look at this girlfriend that he had, she fit that description, at least from what we know, because she was allowing you, Deontay, to raise her son as your son, which means that she obviously didn't have a good relationship with the child's father, wasn't keeping him in his life, or whatever other things follow with that logic. And I just get the strong impression that him putting her in the will and the son in the will was done as a thing like, accept me, like me. Right? Instead of like, if you're going to do that, it should be more of like, if this is a reward for the type of, you know, role you've played in my life for all these years. So this is what I'm going to give you, right? Not like, okay, I want you to like me more. So guess what? I want to put you in my will. Don't do that, guys. Because I made a mistake, right? I was trying to be the, you know, player and, you know, impress my new wife. Like, you know what? I'm going to legally marry you too. That's how much I like you. No, that's dumb kiddie stuff. We don't do that, right? Don't do that.
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate, man. You know, but I'll just say this just real quick on that thing. I was thinking about is that for someone like him, when you're really, really successful in one area, you think that you that just transfers across different things. But it doesn't, you know, and I think that one of the really important things that we have to do on this show, and one reason that we started it, is that to help people really understand that you really do need, men's advice and guidance and help a lot of things as you grow and progress in a life as a man in various areas. I think that for him, I don't know what the situation is with his father, Deontay Wilder, for instance. But you think about this, like when you look at your sons, right? All your sons, they have different personalities, I'm sure, and because I look at my sons and I'm like, okay, they have different personalities and different, they might actually on the surface, be attracted to the same type of woman or the same look of woman, but the type of woman that probably would be most suitable for them might be different, now, and so that's a thing where someone like Deontay Wilder, who was he's masculine or macho, has this persona that's going on, and he's in a very, macho profession and all those things, but he clearly is a bit of a sucker, and he clearly has some hole or vacuum where he needs some acceptance. He wants to be accepted and genuinely loved. Think about that. So he's going out of his way to, put a girlfriend, someone that you're not even, married to, which maybe he's going with our plan and saying, no, I'm not going to legally marry you. Then why are you putting in a will? Anyway, but the thing is, that he's trying to get some acceptance and trying to artificially manufacture some love and acceptance, which, we probably could have told him if he knew us, we were like, hey, Deontay, she ain't the one for you. We probably could have seen it easily. But for him, it's just, sometimes, face to face or whatever, you might get duped a little bit. So long story short, I say that, it's very important. It's very important for men, especially, to have people that can be objective and look from the outside and say, hey, you know what? This is a good girl for you, or this is not a good girl for you, or, she's not going to work for you. It's extremely important, and it would save a lot of headache and heartbreak, as you can see what happened to him.
Well, I'll tell a little story. This is a well-known story. It's about a famous athlete, and we all know it, but it's a reminder of what you just said. And it was Steven Jackson, right? Who he was about to marry somebody, and he said that, she was supposed to sign the prenup. Months were going on. They got engaged. She still ain't signed the prenup. Every time he checked in with her, she still ain't signed the prenup. Long story short, they get to on the wedding day, and she still hasn't signed the prenup. But then, and he's like, trying to convince her. And then he's also like, I might as well just go through the wedding because they paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for the venue, have all the guests. And he had his guests and his friends, like Mike Bibby and Mike Barnes, I think it was.
Matt Barnes, maybe.
Matt Barnes. And then they're in the the groom thing, getting dressed for the wedding, and they're like, and Mike Bibby's like, she ain't signed a prenup? Nah, son, call off the wedding. And they basically convinced them, call off the wedding. But that's just a perfect example of men, friends, companions that can come and tell you something like, hey, no, if she ain't sign it, don't try to get her to sign it. Don't do nothing. Call it off. It's over. And he walked out in front of all those guests, $300,000 and whatever money he paid for the wedding. It's like, it's over. We're not getting married. That's it. And it saved him from having, which would have been his soon-to-be ex-wife on one of these basketball reality Desperate Housewives shows. And him, it saved him a lot of trouble.
Him having that one friend, Mike Bibby. And he said even Mike Bibby's mother played a role in that too, because even his mother was like, hey, listen, just, suck it up, dry it up. This is a situation. Women are going to be like this. And even she played a role to where, in helping him see that. And that's the thing where it saved him millions of dollars.
Yes.
So, for just, for everyone can take an example from that. If you don't, it's more important. It's extremely important for you to have at least one, but it's many, people who genuinely care about you and have your best interest in mind that you can trust.
Yeah.
before you get into making a big decision like that. Yeah. It's much better for you. So I would say you probably should, if you're thinking about getting married, hey, talk to your friends and those people who know you, who love you, who care about you, and are going to shoot to you straight. If you don't have any straight shooters in your life, then that's something that you need to be working on. Yes. You can't just manufacture. You're not going to buy one, but if you don't have any straight shooters, the next best thing, Man's World, we'll shoot you straight. Just send us an email.
yes. And I would even say, like, when you look at the friends, like, you got to have people in your life that actually care more about you than their friendship with you. Right? Yeah. Because a lot of people will hold their tongue, like, I don't want to upset them because he's going to be mad or whatever. I'm full confident that, like, if I tell Mubarak something, he's going to be like, he's going to bring it to me gently. He's going to tell me what I need to hear, right? Even though I might be upset with him, right? And you got to be able to be a person that can take criticism, recognize that you're wrong, but you, like Mubarak said, you got to have those types of people in your life because, like I said, he was worried about whatever hundreds of thousands of dollars he spent on a wedding. Like Mubarak said, it literally saved him multi-millions of dollars by staying away from the wrong person. So, that, and he, not to say this is promoted or anything, but they still had the after wedding party. They still just had the party. And then he ended up getting with one of the bridesmaids and like whatever after that. So, I mean, he made out pretty well.
One of the bridesmaids, the type of people he deals with.
Exactly. That should be enough sign right there. Like, this is your circle, man. Chill out. Don't marry none of these people. And here's another legal thing that we have to pay attention to. So I'll play the clip.
In basic math understands that if it takes two parents to support a certain lifestyle before divorce, there's no possible way those same two parents can support two households after divorce or separation. So the whole concept of a child maintaining the same standard of living after the divorce is a complete fallacy. Because in order for that to happen, the custodial parent would maintain the same standard of living, but that must mean that the non-custodial parent has a substandard living. How is that possibly in the best interest of the child? The entire child support calculation system needs to be overhauled to understand that there's a new demographic that has taken place after the divorce. Therefore, there's a new lifestyle that takes place for all participants in that situation. Anybody who's...
So, I mean, it's so plain and obvious and common sense. And the thing is, people that don't know this were very, very naive about how, I mean, before actually getting in the situation, you don't start looking up this stuff and you think like, oh no, this is how child support and alimony works. You think it works according to common sense. It does not work according to common sense. It works. And if the only way you can understand it is that when you look at who it benefits, right? And child support, alimony, divorce, all that stuff, when your marriage and child custody stuff becomes in the legal state realm, it benefits one place the most, and that's the state. And then when you say, oh, this is meant to benefit the state, then you say, oh, this is why it makes sense the way they do it. Because like you said, it's very clear. You get divorced, like let's just say, for instance, I'm an accountant. So all my expenses was like, I got line by line, month by month. I knew exactly how much I spent for my kids' clothes, food, everything. And let's just say, I'll just put a random number on it. Say it took $100 a month to support my kids every month, right? Go to child support court and you think like, yeah, like I pay $100. So like, let's just keep it the same. I pay $100 to take care of my kids. It went up. What was it? 4 times that amount. That was the calculation I was paying. So as much as, so again, he's saying like, you actually are going to lose so much that like, and this is why you see these stories of ex-husbands living in their cars, moving back in with their mom, losing, like this is what happens. It's a real serious issue. And like he said, it makes absolutely no sense and it's oppressive. And the people that engage in it, they're going to be held accountable. They're going to be held accountable for it.
I mean, think about this. I mean, it actually is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Extract resources for the state. Number one, and it's designed to do that. You can't convince me otherwise that it's not, that people who should be better at math than me for sure, and at least have some common sense that put these laws and know exactly what it would do. If you are having a lifestyle, if you are funding a lifestyle in one home, you are not going to be able to duplicate that. So the situation changes. It's just like if you were to lose your job. Are they going to throw you in jail because now you were buying the child, designer clothing or taking them out to eat, but now you can't because you got a different job or because expenses came up? No. So it's the same way. You're not going to be able. No, the divorce is an event in the life of the child, the family, and everybody. So everybody's standard of living is going to change drastically. It's we don't want the child to be affected, but that's life. The child is affected. Yep. And to try to artificially force that, it actually oppresses the child in the long run, because it's like this. I mean, and we could go on and on about this, but so when you have the father, which 99% of the time, the father is the one who is funding to maintain the lifestyle that the child is going to have that he had before with the custodial parent, who's usually the mother. And so what happens is a lot of times when that time that the father does get with the child, he doesn't have the normal resources or and stuff that he has. So what the child is like, it's more fun or comfortable or whatever at mom's house. Yeah. But the dad is the one, he literally is funding that junk. So they're like, well, mom always buys this for me, or she always, she gives me money. No, I'm giving you money. Yeah. I actually bought that, but it doesn't look like that. So the thing is, it makes the child sometimes more comfortable in wanting to spend the time at the custodial parent's house because that's what they're used to. They're not used to the little shack or that apartment that the dad had to move into, or the dad is in his car because he had to maintain that lifestyle and he was unable to maintain anything similarly for himself. A lot of times you see the stories where the house that he bought, as in the earlier clip where that marital money, the house that he bought, he has to move out of so that wife and those children can maintain their lifestyle. Meanwhile, he's somewhere subpar, maybe even move back in with his parents or whatever. Yeah. And so it's a situation where the kids maybe are going to, reluctantly or begrudgingly or refusing to go. And so it creates a whole, domino effect of issues, so that's why I say, we had a couple shows back about, should polygamy be the standard? And I'm like, this is some of the reasons why I say that. I mean, to me, it's like you should avoid women unless you absolutely need to. Let me be serious. The thing is, if you should be so selective of who you have children with. I mean, it is really a situation where you can and you will ruin your life if you have children with a person who you should not. And when I say who you should or should not, you have to look at that person and you say, do I want my daughter? And if you're the woman, you look at the man. So do I want my son to have the same characteristics, and lifestyle or personality or methodology, worldview as this person? Is this the person that if, we have children and we break up, that they are going to deal with me a certain way or not? If you can't say positively and you don't feel definitively about the quality of person that you're with, do not have children with that person. And especially for the men, you are going to get destroyed. You're not going to be able, don't try to change them. Oh, I'm going to build them up. You can't take, as they say, you can't turn one of those people into a housewife. You can't do it. You cannot do it. You won't be able to do it. So, I mean, it's just like, you got to be extremely careful, man. You got to be extremely careful. Otherwise, these are the consequences that you pay.
Yeah, we should probably do like a off-air brainstorming session, because if you follow our blueprint, first you're not getting legally married. So even if you do have kids with the wrong person, you're actually protected by a certain set of risks by not actually getting legally married. So I'll tell a story real quick about, this is a real story about a person I know, legally married, non-Muslim, so legally married, married for two plus decades, right? Got kids ranging from adult kids in college to kids that are in grade school, get divorced. She gets alimony, child support. She gets the house. House is in his name, though. He pays the mortgage, but it's awarded to her in court, which now it's her responsibility to pay the mortgage. She moves some new guy up in there, boyfriend. Multiple boyfriends have moved up in there, but she doesn't continue paying the mortgage, right? Ends up losing the house. But whose name was all the mortgage and stuff in? In his name. Just trashed his credit. Could not like go get his own house, sleeping in his car, friends, this and that. You know what I mean? So now he's, credit's ruined, can't, get on his feet, can't move anywhere. And then all the stuff you deal with child support and all that. So like now he can't even get visitation because he has no place to take the kids, right? There's no, like, he has split custody. Like, what am I going to see them? I'm going to take them in my car and drive around, right? No, can't do that. Finally gets a place somewhere, whatever. But I say it to say, like, there has to be a way, because if we're advising don't get legally married, the next step is to set up your household with your non-legal wife, non-legal partner, and your children in a way that if the marriage does end, you are clearly awarded custody of the children. Now, there has to be some things that there has to be some kind of game plan there that where if that does happen, a judge's like, listen, because one, it's your house, you're not legally married, so like this is where the kids live, right? So that's one plus you have, that this is where the kids live, this is where they go to school, the school district. The wife's gonna have to move out, the ex-wife. She's gonna have to go find some place to live. So that's a strike against her, plus for you, right? If she's a stay-at-home mom, she doesn't have a source of income or a job or whatever, right? So that they're gonna look at that, plus for the man, minus for the woman. Also, if you can actually work a stay-at-home job where like you actually don't have to go into an office, like a telecommuting job, and you spend all this time with the kids, plus for the man, minus for the woman, because she's got to go do a 9 to 5, this and that. If she doesn't have a car, let's say, how are you going to transport the kids? Oh, you don't have a car? You take the bus? Minus for the I'm just saying, there's some things we can put in place that men could,
Well, I would say those things that you could put in place for a person that you don't trust, a person that you don't trust. Now,
it could be a double whammy, because, for instance, it's best for our wives to stay at home and not work, right?
Yeah.
So I mean that works as a win-win, right?
Well, I would say the best case scenario is that you either marry parallel or up, as in when we get into trouble is when you marry down, as far as someone who is, it's not just about money.
Yeah.
It's about resources, network. For instance, if you marry someone who doesn't have a good relationship with their father, they don't have a functional family life situation. They don't have a network of support of people, reasonable people, successful people that they have examples, that they can lean on, people with some morals and values who are their role models or things like that. So when you do have issues in a marriage, what is their default? Is their default to call the cops, or is their default to run out to lock you out of the house? These type of things, right. Where that's what I mean by marrying down. A certain type of woman is not ever going to lock her husband out of the house. She's not going to do it. It wouldn't like she would just unheard of in some circles. So the type of person that you deal with has to have a certain moral character, and the people around them have to have a certain moral character. Just like how we looked at Steven Jackson's his situation, where as soon as the marriage didn't go through, the prenup didn't get signed or whatever, the bridesmaid is like, okay, I'll take you. Like these type of people run together. It's the wrong type of people to be with, to where she's so, ready to just jump into off the cuff relationship with a person who's in this situation. So the thing is, so for the man, you have a certain level of education or earning or whatever. It would be a benefit if the person you also married had a similar type of, at least, education. Now, if they don't have that similar type of education or earning, then you have to look at the people around them. Okay, their brothers or their father. Her father is a professional in some like similar to you.
Yeah.
And so that is not 100%, but that would be better than, okay, here I am. I'm Dr. Griffin here, but I'm with hood rat so-and-so. Don't know her daddy. Her mother's also in the projects on whatever. Yeah. It's like Dr. Griffin is setting himself up for, if you look at her life, that's more than likely her lifestyle is going to seep over into yours and dilute what you got going on, to where it a lot of times it's not going to happen the other way. All of a sudden she's, oh, I got married to Dr. Griffin. Well, time to leave the hood rat lifestyle and time to become. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. But I would say, just as far as like, if you are married and or if you are non-legally married and you have kids, you're a step ahead of the rest. Mm-hmm. And also you should think about, like, what is it if I did get divorced right now, who would the judge give custody to? And whatever you could do in your marriage, not trying to be underhanded or whatever, if you have a good marriage going on, but you should also take steps so that if you do have to fight for custody, you could win custody. And a lot of men don't put themselves in position. You got some men who fight for custody and are clearly not even in the position that, okay, if the judge said, yes, you got full custody, oh, damn, what am I going to do now? Like they're not even in a position to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sometimes they just fighting for custody because of how much money it's going to cost them.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't even really care that much. And I understand it. I'd be fighting for custody too. You're going to pay $3,000-$4,000. Some people is paying $20,000, $35,000 a month. Yeah, I'm going to put them kids in a backpack, carry them around with me. I don't want
to get a lawyer on retainer.
Yeah,
make sure it's one of those grimy ones. It's like, we're gonna do whatever we got to do.
Yeah,
but we gotta give a word from our. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just gonna say, like, some things, and we probably do need to do a show where we like really give a real good plan on this whole thing, as far as legal marriage plus the situation with having kids or whatever. But I would say that one thing that a person can do is, because they do have the common law, this thing that you run into is the common law marriage, where you say, all right, we're not married, but we live together. So listen, this is high level. This is high level stuff. You get an apartment in their name. Let them have an apartment, and that's where you live. That's where you live. All right. You don't live here. So even if, and I'm saying that to say, these are situations that unfortunately it happens. Like if you're in a relationship. Now, if it's a person that I don't want to say that, oh, I trust them, not your heart thing. The trust has to be based on solid things. The reason why you trust them, their upbringing, their the family that they come from, the type of values and morals that they have, is where you can say, okay, based on that, and you don't know 100%, but based on that, you can do it a little differently. But just a regular old Western, fulana or whatever, you just the likelihood of you being taken for a ride is very high. So I would say for those people that can afford it, hey, listen, this is your own apartment, it's your chill spot. This is, get your mail there, make sure make sure that's your address or whatever.
Yeah.
And that way you can get around the and you can always use that apartment. Hey, listen, you could get oh yeah, this is the Airbnb. Yeah, we're written this out, or yeah, this is for whatever.
To me, I'm the number one customer.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's things like that you can do for these people that make a lot of money. Think about these people who are high earners. I mean, it should be a no-brainer. I mean, there was one. We can move on after this, but there was one. There was one basketball player, who, Michael Porter Jr. He basically what he said was, "Look, I will pay, part of your rent. If you were together." But we're not gonna move in together and mix up stuff with that. So, and he said, I will pay your rent as long as you act right. That's what he said. So yeah, it's not a thing where I'm gonna be just footing everything. It's contingent upon you, behaving in a way that I see as befitting of my girl. So that's another thing.
The thing is, when you hit a certain income threshold. You have to, I mean, pretty much. I'm not gonna say you have to be idiot, but with all the stuff that's out there today, that's why I'm saying I'm surprised when these incidents keep happening. You pretty much get set up in a no risk situation if you have the right amount of money, right? Like, okay, yeah, we're not gonna get legally married. Yeah, we can move in together, but our house is in Indonesia. like there's so much stuff you could do that's like to protect yourself from any situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and we have to end our show with, we used to be sponsored by them. So we have to give them a clip, but we might have to cancel our sponsorship based on the next clip we show. So here's the advertisement for our sponsor.
Miss Bradley, are you a real man or not?
Am I wrong for wanting a woman who can't speak English?
I have 6 kids, so if you are a real man and you want me, you have to take them too.
Bitch, you crazy.
I don't cook or clean, and I expect princess treatment from day one.
Time out. Flag on the play. I'm going to Colombia. U.S. Huz are washed.
Hey, fire crotch. Can I check your temperature with my meat thermometer? American women are too masculine.
I am not settling. If you can't buy a luxury car for me cash, you can't date me.
I am more proud of this passport than the American flag. This is power. Know your worth, boys.
I'm done with these entitled pork and beans American women. The scam has been exposed.
I found love here. It's definitely not for money like most American women. This is real love. Get your passport, my Nick Huz.
You gotta love these AI Jones.
Yeah, the passport bros. I mean, they had a good run. They had a good run, but I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna. Well, a lot of them are getting killed and been getting robbed and stuff. Whatever.
Yeah, there's always a cycle, right?
Yeah.
Like you gotta get it while the getting's good. That time is kind of over.
Yeah, and those passport bros, I would say those passport bros were people who were just going for basically they're doing sex tourism. They're going to these places just to have a good time and then come back. And these people, they deserve to get robbed. They deserve to get taken. I don't want to say they deserve to get their lives ended. Some people that has happened to, but you go run over there. You're literally just going over there taking advantage of women and people and families who don't have the resources, and so you're really actually harming the people there. And not to go on too much of a tangent, but so they go over there and they might offer, what would be the equivalent of, a month, a year, 10 years salary for some of these people for, whatever couple of weeks that they're there, and so they're ruining it or maybe even ruining relationships that, a guy who has a girl that he cares about, that he wants, to have a long-term relationship with, but, some rich tourist comes over here and offers her a bunch of money. And she's like, well, then now she's like, okay, well, he's gone, and so now we're going to get together. No, it's going to taint it. He's not going to have the same amount of attraction, attachment, affection, and all those things. So it messes up the ecosystem where you're just going over there and just having a good time with these people and then leaving. So that's why I say they deserve to get, taken advantage of, because that's what they're doing. So, hey, the game is the game.
Well, I am still a support, especially for my sons. They're going to be passport bros.
Oh.
Sons are going to be passport bros.
Well, it may not. The window for that might be closing.
We have to find one from the approved list, though.
Yeah.
So if you listen to this is why we might have to renounce our sponsorship from Passport Bros, because laws are changing, y'all.
Citizens will not be able to bring their spouse to the United States if the spouse is from one of these 75 countries. I'm Latoya McBean-Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York. You might have already heard the devastating news that the administration has decided to pause the immigrant visa processing for your spouse, and you're probably scrambling.
She gets into the legal stuff, and I don't want to run on time, but pretty much in that list, I know it's small print on our screen, but it was a lot of countries that you would like as a man, if I was advising someone, like, yeah, find a wife from this country or that country. Yeah, they're on the list. So it's just something that we have to another factor I think we have to take into consideration.
As long as Japan wasn't on the list, we got a chance.
Yeah, we still got a chance. So, but yeah, you got to consider the legal ramifications of, like, we talked about, some of the things you have to consider when you're thinking about making hijra. You have to think about these things now. If you're trying to marry, find a wife from a different country, whether they can come in the country, depending on, if they can come in now, who's going to be the next president that might try to kick them out. Like, this is something you have to consider if you're trying to go down that route. And yeah.
And I mean, so there was a lot of people who, were there, they had gotten married and the visa processes were in review, or they were almost finalized, and those got canceled. So there are, there's a lot of people that were affected, and that was a lot of people's backup plan, right? So a lot of men, Muslims, who thought, well, I'm not having any success, or I don't like what I'm seeing from these Western born, bred, and culturalized women. So my default is I'm going to get myself in the right situation, and I'm going to get a girl from back home, or I'm going to go look overseas in some of these other countries and bring them here. And I have several friends who did that, and they're very happy. They're very happy with the results and with the fruits of their labor. And I can say that, if you get the right one, it can work out very, very well for you. But so with that being shut down as an option, now it's like, hey, listen,
Section 8 plan. You gotta go.
Section 8 plan.
It's the only route now.
Yeah, well, imagine. I know we got to wrap up, but you just imagine, like, it's like this. You thought you was about to get like a Bentley or something like that. You at the dealership or whatever. They're like, oh, sir, I'm sorry. Your credit or whatever couldn't get through. But then they show you like some busted hoopty or whatever. It's like, this is the only thing available. This is basically the equivalent of what's happening to these dudes who was like, I'm about to get her from overseas. Now you back to these ratchet Jones.
Oh man, it's so disappointing. Oh gosh.
No, I'm sure there are some wonderful, I know there are plenty of wonderful American and British or whoever Western sisters that are great and wonderful. I mean, good luck,
Just
brothers.
Not enough to go around, y'all. Not enough to go around. I know I got one of them, so that's probably 50% of the market.
I think you got the last ones.
Yeah,
No.
The Last Samurai was the last good woman in America. Everybody's hollering at her.
Hey, yo, listen, if some of these American women were smart, they would just start talking with an accent and just like, oh yeah, she was somewhere else.
I seen a clip of there was this Indian guy, and I mean he looked he was basically, you couldn't tell he was Indian, right? And he was, was American or whatever, but he was making the clips like, yeah, all the black girls, they come up to me like, oh, are you Guyanese? And he's like, no, I just go with it. And he just started speaking in the accent. Like, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
She's speaking with an accent the whole time. As soon as after you get married, already she's like, surprise, nigga. She got one of them New York accents.
Yeah, he got that hard New York. Yo, son, go get me some breakfast, nigga.
Oh, subhanAllah.
All right, so that's it for the show this week, y'all. Tune in next week, and we're going to cover some more stuff. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.